What da denyo, what da dang hengo denyo. What da dang. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushunamo, where we speak truth to power. Here we don't criticize, but if we must criticize, we'll only criticize on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we are in the service of God and country. This is the voice of the people, and the voice of the people is the voice of God. Oh, yes. And from the newsreel, we always endeavor to keep it real. Now, today we have a number of issues to look at. And for that matter, we go straight up, headlong into the discussion. Oh, God. Now, this one I'm taking from Ghana Word. And it says, Akufo-Addo asked Kissi Agyabeng to resign months ago, but he refused. And this is Martin Kpebu speaking. I read. Lawyer Martin Kpebu has alleged that President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo asked the special prosecutor, Kissi Agyabeng, to resign months ago. According to Kpebu, the request followed a petition submitted to President Akufo-Addo for the removal of Kissi Agyabeng by former special prosecutor Martin Amidu. Now, the lawyer indicated that his sources at the office of the president told him that Kissi Agyabeng refused to step down, as reported by 3news.com. Martin Amidu has served as an opportunity for President Akufo-Addo to get Kissi Agyabeng out. Akufo-Addo has asked Kissi Agyabeng to resign a few months ago. I have my sources at the presidency, and they told me that President Akufo-Addo asked Kissi Agyabeng to resign, but Kissi said no, he is not going anywhere. He is quoted to have said. He added that the president wants to remove the special prosecutor so badly because he is afraid that he, Akufo-Addo, would be investigated by him, Agyabeng. Because Akufo-Addo is scared that the way Kissi is showing a bit of independence, a bit of steam, if he leaves Kissi in office, Kissi is likely to prosecute him and his appointees. He added. Okay. Now I must thank Nana Akufo-Addo for one thing, that he's been bold enough to at least pick up a special prosecutor. In fact, the very first special prosecutor he picked was not even from his own party, the NPP. It was from the NDC. Alamisi Amidu. He turned out to be a white elephant. In fact, he demeaned the office of the special prosecutor, turned it into nothing. My brother, my sister, and it looks like that nothingness was still hanging like an albatross around the neck of the OSP until Kissi Agyabeng came in. When Kissi Agyabeng came in as the next special prosecutor, the very first person to criticize Kissi Agyabeng was the same Martin Amidu. He is so young, too young, and too much without experience. In other words, too inexperienced to be a special prosecutor and even fight corruption. But it turned out that Kissi Agyabeng, even though young, was able to do more than Martin Amidu did. It looks like, and from where I stand, Martin Amidu has been full of bitterness from that time. That he, huge and gargantuan in stature, both in law and also physically, my brother, my sister, has not been able to achieve a scintilla of success whilst he was in office, except to threaten people and write lengthy letters that had little meaning. Martin Amidu is a disgrace to the office of the special prosecutor. And I have said this time and again, he ran out of the office of the special prosecutor like a pregnant toad on heat in broad daylight. He wrote a damning letter to the president and to the people of Ghana, calling the president the mother serpent of corruption. My brother, Martin Amidu, whilst in office, was also extravagant. What do we mean by extravagance? He was asking for air conditioners all over the place. At a point, we're even told that he asked for a jacuzzi. My brother, my sister, if you are interested in fighting corruption, even if you sit on top of a baobab tree, you can still fight that corruption. With or without an office, if I want to fight corruption, I will chase Nana Akufo-Addo out of the presidency with the rod of corruption check. I do not need a jacuzzi laden office, an air-conditioned filled office to be able to function. My brother, my sister, at the end of the day, we were also told from the presidency that he rejected one office after the other, claiming that such offices were potentially bogged. You know what it means to say bog? In other words, they put gadgets in there that they could smell them anytime that they started smelling. Martin Amidu gave us excuses. He left without any achievement. He couldn't even prosecute a lizard, let alone a crocodile. Kissi Agyabeng came in. A little as he is, inexperienced as he is, diminutive in stature as he could be, at least he's been able to roar. He couldn't catch any game, yes, but he roared. But it looks like the office of the special prosecutor is the headquarters of extravagance. Martin Amidu wanted air conditioners all over the place. 6 million horsepower air conditioners all over the place. He wanted jacuzzis all over the place, as we were told. But when Kissi Agyabeng came, he raised the level of extravagance to another level. He wanted 20 million, 200 million worth of cars. My brother, my sister. Bulletproof cars. He wanted his own house bulletproofed because he feared for his life. Who was he running away from? No wonder they say when you fight in corruption, corruption fights you back. So one thing is clear. Nana Akufo-Addo is not ready to fight corruption. Nana Akufo-Addo is a mighty pretender. All those he brought into office, he probably told them beforehand that, listen, we are going out of our way to bring you in here. Please work with us. And by saying work with us, it simply means overlook corruption. When you see us stealing, just come and ask for your share. We are putting you in there to supervise over corruption, not to fight corruption. Somebody won't understand the difference. I said we put you in there to supervise over corruption. In other words, who steals today? The next day, whose turn is it to steal? We are not bringing you here to fight corruption. It is clear that Nana Akufo-Addo is a pretending president who wants people to think that he's fighting corruption. Today, we are told by Martin Kpebu that he actually asked Kissi Agyabeng to leave before he's given the bullet. And they used a stooge like Martin Amidu to get it done. Before I rush into calling him a stooge, let us also give some credit to Martin Amidu. What is the reason Martin Amidu wants Kissi Agyabeng out ultimately? The biggest reason is the fact that Kissi Agyabeng got involved in some procurement issues and they were breaches. Do you understand that? He got involved in procurement breaches. And if you go to equity, you must go with clean hands. My law lectures at the University of Science and Technology will still remind me of this key thing in law. When you go to equity, you go with clean hands. You cannot be seen to be fighting corruption when you are inundated in the calcon of corruption yourself. Is it clear? I want Kissi Agyabeng to be investigated. I'm glad that the CJ wrote a letter to him asking him to respond to the charges of procurement breaches. If he's found culpable, we will gladly send him home and with a punishment. That's all we want to see. It might be witch hunting, but from where I stand, please, it is justified. Let him be investigated. Nobody is bigger than Ghana. Nobody is bigger than the truth. I leave it here. Now the next thing I want to look at, and I truly beg you to come along and let's listen to it with rapt attention. Oh, Jesus, have mercy. And this one breaks my heart. Oh, Jesus, have mercy. Jesus, have mercy. Jesus, have mercy. Hi, my brother, my sister, I am taking you into a story that will break your heart as well. But please muster courage. I'm reading this from Ghana Web, and it's one of the most authentic sources of news online. Cocoa Board cites free SHS as it terminates long-standing scholarship scheme. Listen attentively. Cocoa Board cites free SHS as it terminates long-standing scholarship scheme. And I read, the Ghana Cocoa Board has announced the termination of its long-standing scholarship scheme, attributing the decision to the implementation of the government's free senior high school initiative. Now, in place of the scholarship scheme, Cocoa Board has established the Cocoa Board Education Trust, which aims to provide essential primary school infrastructure in underserved cocoa growing communities. Mr. Peter McMahon, chairman of the board, explained the rationale behind this shift. With the advent of the free SHS by the Akufo-Addo administration, it's time for us to adapt and evolve. Now, the Cocoa Board Scholarship Scheme, while a notable and valuable program, has naturally lost its core purpose. He explained. Now, the Cocoa Board Scholarship Scheme has been a significant source of financial support for students from cocoa farming communities many years ago. However, with the introduction of the free SHS initiative, the board decided to redirect its resources towards establishing model basic schools in cocoa growing areas. The newly inaugurated Cocoa Board Education Trust underscores the board's commitment to the well-being of cocoa farmers and their children. As we bid farewell to the scholarship scheme, we must look forward and prioritize the continued educational advancement of the cocoa farming community. It's with this vision that the board of directors has decided to establish the Ghana Cocoa Board Education Fund or Trust. Now, this trust is a testament to our unwavering commitment to the prosperity and well-being of cocoa farmers and their children. Now, the primary objective of the Education Trust is clearly to focus on providing essential primary school infrastructure in underserved cocoa growing areas. I leave it here. Listen. My brother, cocoa plays a vital role in this country. And listen attentively. In 1954, there was a political party that was founded right in the compound of the Asante Hini at the time by a man called Osei-Bafo Yawakoto. The party was called NLM, National Liberation Movement. Please listen to the name of the political party, National Liberation Movement. The very important word there is national. It sought to take a national dimension, yet, in fact, paradoxically, it decided to break away from the rest of Ghana. Can you see the paradox in there? Can you see the irony in there? You call your party the National Liberation Movement, yet you seek to break away from the nation that you claim you want to liberate. It's a paradox, isn't it? It's an irony, isn't it? Now, several years down the line, we are revisiting some of these things, and as an historian, I would like to push you into a total understanding of this. Come along. Watch this. Now the NLM, founded in the compound of the Asantini by Oseba Foyawakoto, whose son recently was the Agric minister, who ran for a political position in his party and failed, and from that time has been living in oblivion. My brother, my sister, they looked at the cocoa money and decided that no part of Ghana should enjoy their cocoa money from the Ashanti. They were too rich to be part of Ghana. They were too rich to play with poor people in Ghana. They were too rich, in fact, to be associated with the poverty of Ghana. And for that matter, the whole Ashanti region, as it is today, wanted to break away from the rest of Ghana, founding the party in 1954 known as the NLM, National Liberation Movement. So paradoxically, so ironical. Watch this. Because of the cocoa money, they felt they were bigger than Ghana. So their motto was Yatiahun. In other words, we are broken apart. Nkrumah came in with so many different things to make them understand. Oh, yes, spoke to Asantini, spoke to the rest of them, and in 1956, a plebiscite came in, an agreement came in to make all these people agree. This was 1956. The following year, 1957, Kwame Nkrumah, upon assuming independence for this nation, you know what he did? He banned all tribalistic political parties, including the NLM, which was an Akan party. He also banned the Muslim Brotherhood Party. Did you ever know that there was a party in Ghana called the Muslim Brotherhood Party? Did you know? Did you know that the Ghana people also had their party called the Ghana Shifochume Party? Did you know that? I know I didn't pronounce it properly. Nkrumah banned all tribalistic and religious parties. So the NLM and the rest of them came together and founded what was known as the United Party. Let's not talk too much history. Let's look at this. Nkrumah found a way to still compensate Ashanti for his cocoa. He gave scholarships to the children of cocoa farmers. It was known as the CMB scholarship, Cocoa Marketing Board's scholarship. It was the biggest and the most luxurious scholarship. I benefited from NES. I don't even want to tell you what that means, because my father was not a cocoa farmer. Where I come from, cocoa doesn't even grow. Even Angel Gabriel cannot grow cocoa where I come from. Where I come from is a desert. People from the north or related to people from the north. Listen to the broad nature of this scholarship. So if Asoriba is necessarily not from the north, but he has an uncle that comes from the north, he qualifies for Northern Extraction Scholarship because he has an extraction in him that is Northern. But when it comes to the cocoa production, you can be related to the Otumfo. But if it is not by blood that you farm cocoa, and it is on record that you are a cocoa farmer, or the son of a cocoa farmer or a daughter, forget it. Today, my brother, my sister, they are saying that the Cocoa Marketing Board scholarship has outlived its usefulness. For that matter, they have cancelled it. All the cocoa farmers' children who are going to school, now they won't enjoy Cocoa Marketing Board scholarships anymore. Why? They have instituted free SHS for everybody to enjoy. And for that matter, there's no longer NES, Northern Extraction Scholarship. Everybody is under that free SHS. That sounds like a better thing, isn't it? It sounds like a better thing. Another day we'll go into the quality of the SHS and we'll realize that it's a fraud. The whole white paper thing about free SHS is a very, very commendable thing. But the implementation is oblivious. Should I go deeper? Watch this. Hey! Now, cocoa farmers' children will not benefit from the CMB scholarship. What they will benefit is this, and listen. Cocoa Marketing Board, now called Cocoa Board, will go all the way to the areas that plant cocoa and establish schools there. They would also put in infrastructure, furniture, and the rest of them inside those schools so that cocoa people's children can benefit from that. Can I ask a question? So, people from other parts of the nation that do not plant cocoa, can they attend those schools? If I come from Zabrigaga or Durigaga, if I come from Zwarungo or Fabayirebe Tumichok, far away, close to Burkina Faso, can I attend those schools that supposedly are a priority, or better still, a prerequisite, or better still, a preserve of cocoa farmers and their children? If yes, then how is it unique to the cocoa farmers? Hey, our nation has reached a point where we have to look at the nation in toto. In fact, it's sad. I said that it is sad. Cocoa farmers, now you go to their areas and build schools and put in tables and chairs and make them state of the art. Is it only for cocoa farmers and their children? Even the CMB scholarships, fraudulently, children of cocoa farmers benefited some, but the people who benefited more were nowhere near even cocoa farms because of corruption, wickedness, and tribalism. It's sad. All you needed to be able to benefit from the CMB is an Ashanti name. If you are Mumuni Gamel, say that you are Kweku Mensa, you will benefit from it. Simple. If your father is called Azwarungon Kotongombo from Farfar, and he goes all the way to Ashanti, he can have the biggest cocoa farm in the Ashanti. But the fact that his name is Azwarungon Kotongombo, there's no way he will benefit, and his children who live in Bolga will not benefit. What point is Black Rasta making? Very simple. Listen, we all are unique in so many different things in the country. When cocoa farmers farm, they should be rewarded adequately at source. Whatever they want to do with their money is unto them. Rather than saying you are putting the money in a certain fund to help their children and help this. What comes to the nation, let it belong to the nation. So we decide what to do with the rest of the money. Rather than tying cocoa people in one box and saying, we are using your money, we'll keep it here to do A, B, C, D for you and your children. It doesn't work like that anymore. That is my opinion. I leave it here. Now the last thing I want to look at, and I can see that I've run out of time, and I want to spend just a few minutes on this. A lot of you are going to be interested in this. And I'm reading that from Ghana Web. It says, don't think Ghanaians are gentle. I saw what happened in 1979. 1981. Duncan Williams wants political class. Oh, Jesus, have mercy. This is Duncan Williams talking. And I read. Hey. Action Chapel International founder, Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, has warned the political class to do right by the citizenry because matters could spiral out of control with continued exploitation. According to him, there was significant pain and hardship in the country, citing the mass exodus of healthcare professionals. He reiterated that without easing the plight of the ordinary Ghanaian with transparency and fairness, unintended consequences of the hardship in the country could trigger a crisis. And I leave it here. Ah! Archbishop Duncan Williams has spoken like Jesus Christ. Very, very, very much of a parable. Somebody would have said, hey, government in power, be careful. What you are doing, a coup d'etat is about to come. But he didn't say that. He said, hey, I was here in 1979. What happened in 1971? Coup. People were shot and killed in cold blood because of hardships that visited us. 1981, what happened? Another coup. Hilary Man was kicked out in December. I remember clearly, 31st December. Kicked out. Duncan Williams is saying, hey, government in power. Nana Akufo-Addo, you and your corrupt government. There's a coup d'etat coming, whoa. Do not take Ghanaians for a joke, whoa. That coup d'etat is about to slap your cringing brows. But his master is Jesus Christ, who spoke in parables. When your donkey falls in the river or falls in the well on Sabbath, will you rescue it or you wait until Sabbath is over? Oh, parables upon parables. Jesus Christ spoke like Aesop. How many of you know Aesop? A-E-S-O-P. My brother, my sister, the philosopher Aesop used to speak in parables. He made people think so much that some died thinking. Can you believe that? I give you a question. Go and think about it. You think I and die. Because of that, they killed him by poisoning. The state executed him by poisoning. And his crime was that he was too advanced for his age. Read the story of Aesop. Find me the photograph of Aesop. A-E-S-O-P. A-E-S-O-P. He was a philosopher, an old philosopher. Recently, I went into a research on him a couple of years ago, and I realized that Aesop was actually from Ghana. But Mikoka, the Assembly Breme, said that Mikase, some time ago, said Bob Marley for Ghana, Krumantin, and people insulted me. Later, when Rita Marley came and said it, they believed her because I am not Jamaican and I'm not wise. This is Aesop. This man here, this is his bust. He was a great thinker. The state decided to execute him, to kill him, because he was thinking too much and making people think. They gave him poison. If we had time, I'll go into the kind of poison they gave him, but we don't have time. Listen, Duncan Williams, Archbishop, is telling Nana Akufo-Addo, please, food prices are hiking. Corruption is so rife. You are chasing away the same man you brought in to fight corruption. After the first one called you the mother serpent of corruption. Now, all the banks are empty, no money. All the monies are hoarded under our beds, in our cupboards, and in rat holes and mole holes. We've gone into the Guinness Book of Records. There's more money under our bed than in the banks of Ghana. Yet we are crying that inflation is so high and we could easily stamp this out. But because of political jingoisms and gymnastics, we are here crying. Duncan Williams has warned. He didn't tell us it's a prophecy. He said, 79, 1981, tell Nana Akufo-Addo that if they continue like this, 79, 81, those of you who were not here, I saw 79. I was only 5 years old. Anytime we saw a soldier, we ran into our rooms, covered ourselves. Obi Ankwada. In the north, we used to say, Obi Ankwara. Obi Ankwara. Obi Ankwara. Obi Ankwara. Obi Ankwara. Radio at that time, 6 o'clock on the dot, we hear, wee. It says, Obi Ankwara. Obi Ankwara. You will go and sleep by force like Nkuko. We endured that. Our fathers were shot and killed. Our mothers were whipped in their bare vaginas on the streets of Kejetia and beyond. Our uncles were shaved right at Gonda Barracks and kicked onto the streets to die. We saw 79. We also saw 81. where the country is going, if I were Nana Akufo-Addo, I will resign. But Nana Akufo-Addo has spoken. Can I just close with that? He said that his appointees should do everything possible to change the rhetoric. That's what he says. That's the last one I'm looking at. Hey, yeah, he says, make a difference despite short period. And this is President Nana Akufo-Addo telling his appointees to do that, charging his ministries and ministers and their deputies. And I'm reading this from Graphic Online. He says, President Nana Akufo-Addo yesterday swore into office what could best be described as the last batch of ministers with a charge on them to make a difference despite the short period left. Hey, Kai Papa, a wicked man. This man is a dangerous man. Spent almost 80 years throwing this country into oblivion. Extra time substitution. A huge portfolio of ministers and deputies. One-ton expenditure with no common sense. Today, this last batch is what is going to bring the difference. Well, the difference, as Duncan Williams said, might just be 79 or 81. I leave it here.